Welcome to Beltline. I think you've made a excellent decision to come to our office today. The fact that you took the time, put in the effort to come means maybe you're worried about your health and as it pertains to your weight, but also it means you have exhibited a goal-directed behavior and you're ready to make a change. Let's take a moment and appreciate ourselves for doing that. A lot of people, and maybe even the past version of yourself that's been thinking about this for weeks, months, or years, finally had the courage to come in and make that positive change for yourself. And I think that warrants a little bit of credit. So kudos to you for doing it. And I think you've made a good decision. So, with that, I'll jump into what medical weight loss is. And I want to open with actually a comment on just weight loss in general and what to expect in terms of goals for yourself. In general, I want you to realize that it probably took months, more likely years, to put on the unwanted weight. To expect the weight to come off any faster than it went on would be unrealistic. And I get it. In an age of an Amazon 2-day delivery guarantee, instant gratification and results through any online or phone application, whatever it is that you're looking for, it's hard to understand that our bodies aren't keeping up with the times. So, first thing I would tell you to do is let's be patient together. I know you may want fast results. We can talk about ways to do that within reason, but it took years to put the weight on. It may take the full year from this visit to get it off. So pace yourself. One analogy I love sharing is that after today's visit, hopefully we come up with some goals or something that you need to do to start getting yourself towards your goal. Don't set that first rung of the ladder you have to climb to achieve your goal so high that you have to be an NBA star and you have to jump to reach it, right? Let's talk through how we can make baby steps for ourselves to accomplish the same goal. It may take 100 steps instead of four rungs of a ladder, but that's okay. And that's how I want you to think about this, because the first thing I don't want is for you to leave the office with today's visit feeling overwhelmed, like the doctor just gave me a bunch of stuff to do and I better turn it on tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to fail, or I'm going to let myself down, or let my loved ones down, or let Dr. D down. You're never going to let me down. But in order to achieve success, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed in a way that's going to keep you from making progress. So I will coach you through some of that and help set some modest goals. But first, word of advice to you: don't feel pressure. Plan to make subtle changes, but once you implement them, try not to go backwards. The next thing I want to talk about is diet. Look, if you have a weight loss goal of X amount of pounds, there's no doubt that probably over 50% of the equation or changes you need to make is going to come from a diet standpoint. A majority of the remaining, let's say 49%, has a lot to do with exercise. Let's call that about 25 to 35%. And then whatever's left over, we hope to help you by providing a new tool, whether it's what I call tier one medications, which we'll cover, or tier two medications. But medications as a tool will need to be supplemented to changes in the diet and changes in the exercise. In fact, I'll go ahead and say study after study that quotes a certain amount of weight loss were all designed with maximal and sometimes guided exercise and diet programs. So if I said a certain medication may help you lose 22% of your current weight, that's based on research. But in the research study, the patients were under monitored settings doing exercise and diet modification. So if you don't plug in those two changes, if you're here to receive a Band-Aid for your weight problem, you're going to be disappointed, and I don't want you to be disappointed. So realize that same analogy, 22% from a certain medication was never just medication. It was medication plus lifestyle change. If we don't start making these lifestyle changes, instead of 22%, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're only going to see about a 10% change, when in fact the medicine plus those things could have taken you much further. And we're always going to need to rely on those lifestyle changes if we're ever going to talk about stopping medications and trying to maintain weight. One thing I wanted to ask you to do is give me a list of things that you want to work on. What are things that you feel like are consistent or persistent problems in your relationship with food or in general in your diet. Common examples being, Dr. D, I know I have too many sodas. I've already been told this by my PCP. For a few months, I do okay, and then I don't do as well. Well, if you know that you have these problem areas that you want to do better on, let's harness the energy that you have. Again, the positive energy you had to commit to this appointment and come in. This is the chance to use that to drive us to make those consistent changes. You don't want to come in 6 weeks from now with an appointment with me or one of my teammates and say, you know what, another 6 weeks, I didn't make a change. So we're here for your accountability, even though that could sound negative. Maybe that's what you need at this stage to achieve your goals. So I do want you to be thinking about what's something I can change in my diet, that I want to work on, that I'm aware of, and we can help give you ways to do that right away, or I may make a referral to a kind of bariatric or a weight focused therapist. And I'm happy to offer that to you and make that referral. As far as diet goes, this visit is not going to be about a prolonged, individualized, custom diet plan generation. Okay. We, honestly, that deserves its own special attention. And I'm humble, and I will be the first to say this, that I'm not an expert in all things diet or nutrition. If I've had a couple of courses or classes or lectures on nutrition as a medical student, a little extra touch up going through certification processes, but there are people who have done, frankly, 1 or 2 year long master's programs or PhDs in nutrition. So my one of my goals is to refer you and now incorporate this person into our team. Your goal getting team now includes me, the doctor, to prescribe medications, but also a key member is going to be the dietitian I'm going to refer you to. They're going to use their fancy calculators and tell you what your basal resting metabolic rate is. What should be a good target ideal weight? What percentage body fat can we work on? Then they're going to talk to you about where and how are your nutrients coming from? How can we impact the quality and quantity of those nutrients to get to your goal? They can give you tips and tricks on how to be social and incorporate a healthy diet into your obviously an inherently busy lifestyle and work schedule. These are challenges that a dietitian loves to talk about. In fact, it's so much information, it would be unfair for me to try to do that in the time we have today. Instead, what I want you to do, and we can call this one of the assignments by the end of the visit, I want you to plan to download the Berrytastic app. This is a calorie counter app. If you've heard of the MyFitnessPal app, it's similar to that, but we like it because it has more free features. Our dietitians refer to this app all the time. I want to challenge you for the next couple of weeks at least to commit to tracking everything you're putting in your body, liquids and solids. So when you go to that referral, that consultation with the dietitian, you're not guessing what you ate or typically eat. You'll have hopefully pie charts or graphs or whatever the app spits out that will tell you what your macronutrient intake looked like: carbs, fats, and proteins, and what percentage of each. And it'll be a track record of things you might have forgotten 2 weeks ago that, oh, I did snack on this, or I remember it was a rough kind of late Friday shift, and I went and ate XYZ thing. It's in there, and it's not something that we can forget, and then it'll lead to a more efficient, again, more goal directed, more individualized custom diet plan that you can create with your dietitian. From an exercise standpoint, so if I defer to the dietitian for their expertise in all things diet, I can't say I'm an exercise physiologist or anything, but I am an exercise enthusiast. I played soccer at a club and travel level, and as a varsity um, soccer player, and a variety of other sports. Through this, I've learned how to exercise and stay in shape. Consistency is the key. I'm going to say it over and over. One goal I'm going to set for you long term, not immediately, is 3 to 5 days of some directed exercise. Common things that come up that I think are misconceptions. So I need to work out 60 minutes. I need to work out in the gym. I need to do a bunch of cardio. These are all things that have, for the first two things, I've personally proven that aren't necessary. You don't need a full 60 minutes. You don't need um, a gym to get in shape. And I'll go into details during our consult about how I figured that out. You don't also need to do a bunch of cardio. In fact, there's newer data that supports resistance training is actually going to do more for you to help you burn more calories and keep weight off and do better for you in terms of weight maintenance. So I'm going to encourage you to combine into your workout regimen more resistance training with resistance bands or weights, simple dumbbells. And I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about high intensity interval training. And we're going to touch on how that could be a major benefit for you. And of course, to individualize this, if you have come to the consult today with chronic knee pain, injuries, back problems, I can't suggest to every single person HIIT workouts, but hopefully we can come up with something that you can do within reason. And I hope I motivate you to do that. Move your body and be consistent. That's going to be key. Lastly, let's touch on what we're going to talk about today. Probably this is the real meat and potatoes of the discussion. You're probably coming in because a girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or someone is on these on a weight loss medication. They're seeing results. And to be honest, that's going to be one of the main goals of seeing someone with an MD after their name, because we have the power of the prescription pad. And I certainly want to go over medications and pick something that'll work for you and try to set you up with that. Here is the gist of how we do medical weight loss, or at least I do it. So you're a patient, you have a goal of weight loss. I guess I'm drawing bullets in the air. Weight loss goal. One option is tier 1 medical weight loss. Next option is tier 2 medical weight loss. Tier 3 is surgery. We'll kind of table that because if you're seeing me for medical weight loss, we don't want you to feel any pressure or anything to think about that. We know you're not ready mentally. If we have to cross this bridge with these other two options first and decide if that's right for you, that's for a later time. So tier 1 medical weight loss involves medications that have been around for a long time. They're oral tablets. They're, if not covered by insurance, generally more affordable with good RX or generic formulations. And they're well tolerated. They've been around for a long time. Um, their effects, if you're going to have any negative effects, because it's a tablet, they're usually quick onset, quick offset. So side effects should be short lived. These medications, the ones I want to talk about today, are phentermine, topiramate, and occasionally metformin. So when I say tier 1 medical weight loss, that's what I'm referring to. Phentermine has the potential to reduce your hunger. The side effects, though, I'm going to ask you if you have certain heart conditions, because it can cause palpitations, irregular heart rhythm. It can make you feel jittery, give you a dry mouth, make you feel anxious, and then it can give you a problem with sleeping, insomnia. So one of the things about phentermine when we prescribe it, and I'm going to tell you, is take it by like 8 a.m. in the morning. You don't want to have trouble sleeping because there's robust study data that says good sleep hygiene helps you lose more weight and keep weight off. That's topiramate. It's kind of the lead player in that tier 1 medical weight loss. The next medicine is topiramate. This is a medication that also can reduce hunger, but its side effect profile is a little opposite to phentermine. I usually say it can make you feel a little drowsy, we call brain fog, just a little slow. Realize with any side effects I'm describing, they always sound scary. Majority of people using these medicines don't get any side effects. That could be you. But you could be in a very small minority that the first dose of the first medicine gave you the worst side effects. We won't know till we go through that. That is a general statement that applies to any drug out there in the world. So just realize I'm arming you with data so you know what to monitor for. But topiramate can help extend that appetite suppression into the afternoon. The bottle will usually say take this after 2 p.m. if we find ourselves using that. I usually like to start phentermine at the low dose, and after about a month or two, we can scale up as you're building a tolerance. And when we get to that point where you're like, Dr. D, I can definitely tell in the afternoon I'm hungry again, that's when we add topiramate. It'll say take it after 2 p.m. so we get the extended benefit, but we don't have a sleep issue. Another aside about phentermine, why it's good, a lot of people like it. If you're struggling with energy levels, you need to work out in the evening like I do, and it's the end of the day and you're tired, phentermine can give you that boost into the afternoon, evening, to help you get that workout in. So it has that benefit. Last but not least, metformin. This is actually classically, like much of the drugs these days that are for weight loss, were actually discovered as insulin, insulin controlling medications or diabetes medications. Um, Metformin, the way it works, it can slow down your stomach. It can make you feel fuller longer, so less desire for meals, and prolong your satiety between meals, if you will. However, related to that, the side effects could be bloating, abdominal pain, cramping, sometimes nausea or vomiting. sometimes more other GI symptoms like diarrhea or constipation. So, and metformin by itself won't be a robust weight loss medicine, but I like adding it in the later months because we can see another 1 to 3% weight loss by doing it that way. So those are tier one meds. Those are the kind of benefits and expected side effects. Again, more availability, cheaper, tried and true, but weight loss with these is modest. I'm usually going to quote about a 10% weight loss when taking these drugs properly, combined with the lifestyle modification. Tier 2 weight loss is actually Circle Star. It's where I like to start everybody. These are the drugs that probably you've heard about and you may be coming in to focus on if you're like most people. These medicines, just to list the names, the generic names are semaglutide or tirzepatide. The brand names are Wegovy or Ozempic. For semaglutide, for tirzepatide, it's Mounjaro or Zepbound. So these medications, let's talk about um, what to expect when you get these medications. So we do run into some issues with availability and administration. So first of all, these are injections; they're not tablets. You got to kind of pinch your skin and put it in the soft tissue of your skin. So right under your skin, it's a small needle. If you've ever seen diabetic needles, they're as small calibers. You can make them for little finger prick style. They come in a little cartridge that can be pre-set to a certain dosage, or they'll instruct you on how to do that, and you administer that in the skin. It's one injection per week. They have to stay refrigerated while you're not using them, and you get 4 injections in the box. And the goal with this medicine, a lot like I described with the tier 1 meds, we start at the lowest dose, and then every month as tolerated, as long as side effects aren't that bad and you're losing weight, we try to scale up. They usually go through about a 5 to 6 month scale up where the highest dose is in the 6th month. The side effects with these, I call all of these tier 2 meds, the ones I listed, the brake pad of the GI tract. What that means is it slows things down, can make you feel fuller longer, reduce appetite, and there may be some other benefits that we don't fully understand yet um, in terms of metabolism and things like that. But the bottom line is it's less emphasis and desire to seek out food and think about food, which is what a lot of people are telling me. And these also control any insulin resistance that may be going on. So based on how they work, much like metformin, what can you expect? Cramping, bloating, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or constipation. And then also realize the side effects when they tend to happen is in the later doses. So we're seeing more issues at month 4, 5, and 6 than 1, 2, and 3. So usually everyone tolerates the first couple months of this. Um, Now, because they're not pills, they're not fast onset, fast offset, right? So it's an injection designed to last in your body for a week until the next shot. So if you get side effects and they're particularly bad, you're going to be riding that horse, so to speak, for a few days. Your side effects may last a few days. In rare instances, we may have to call in medicines to help you with your side effects or send you somewhere, or I can now say bring you into our office to supplement you with some IV fluids, right? But these are all things that you need to call and inform us about if you feel like you're having an issue with them. Now, the other issue with these drugs is they're new and they're in high demand. So a lot of people are having trouble getting that first month dosing. That's what I call the bottleneck. Everyone's trying to start at the first dose, and we'll discuss ways to work around that. So it could be that your insurance covers this, and that would be great because then we're looking at $25, $35 a month. If they don't, unfortunately, these meds are costing anywhere from $1,500 with a coupon to $1,800 without a coupon. We do work with a pharmacy that offers a very competitive cash pay rate. It's about half of what I just said. And so if you have resources or you're going to get insurance coverage for it eventually, but you just want it, you got to get it going, you're willing to pay for a couple months, we'll send your prescription somewhere where you can reliably get the real deal medicine and not pay quite as much. So those are scenarios of how that would play out. And getting these medicines requires a little more patience and due diligence of calling your insurance provider, which one's covered, which one's not. And then if you hear from a girlfriend that, hey, it's at X pharmacy today, I know I'm on the waiting list at mine, but can we try to send it over there? Call our MA, be patient with us, and we'll call it over there. Expected weight loss with these can, depending on the studies and which one. Semaglutide, average weight loss with that was about 18% or so. your Manjaro and Zepbound could be more like 22% weight loss. So we're talking about twice as much results as the tier one meds on average. And as always, I'll say it over and over, we got to pair the medicine with the lifestyle change to get maximum benefit. The last thing I wanted to go ahead and tell you is there's going to be some assignments, if you will. You're not a student in my college lecture hall, and you're not in trouble if you don't do these things. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. But I'm going to say one assignment is to go ahead after this visit and start your Beltline Health binder or journal, if you will. If you want to be cheesy about it, you can call it my weight loss journey. I think there should be loose leaf paper in there to write down your experience, your side effects, your recipes you like can go in there. But the first two forms I want to go in there are two documents that I'm going to put in your portal. One document is the medication summary list. It goes over the things I just highlighted, the side effects, how they work. And the other is the Dr. D Medical Weight Loss Summary, which I'm actually reading from right now. If those two things you can read over one time and keep them in a folder, you'll have them for reference and for success. The second thing is to go ahead and get the Berrytastic app and start calorie counting so you can have a meaningful visit with your dietitian. The third thing is to make those small personal changes that hopefully we're going to individualize and come up with today by the end of the appointment, and set those modest goals and start making positive changes. The next couple of assignments will be, once we send the medication to your pharmacy, plan to call them and make sure they got it, run your insurance, figure out if you're going to be able to afford it or not, and then don't hesitate to give us a follow-up call to let us know if you want to proceed with that medicine or potentially have us call in something else. I should be with you shortly, and I look forward to meeting you and helping you achieve your goals. See you soon.